Hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. Spartans return to action at home inside CEFCU Stadium this weekend, Saturday, October 27 at 3:30 p.m. The kickoff time. Our coverage on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network will begin at 3 o'clock Pacific time. We'd love to see you out in CEFCU Stadium this weekend. Tickets are available at 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com. Let's welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Hello. Happy Monday. Here we go. Tough game for us in San Diego. I was really proud of our team. I thought our players fought extremely hard. I thought the coaching staff did a great job preparing them to play a really good San Diego State team that does a lot of stuff, both offensively and defensively, that challenge you. Credit to Coach Long and the staff there in that program. Got a big spider that's attacking me right here. We talked about last week a lot, but I think, what Coach Long and San Diego State and that program and that administration have done over time is build a sustainable program, good players, good football, and, goes to bowl games every year, and they graduate their players, and they've just done a heck of a job. So I have a ton of respect for Coach Long and that staff, and I was proud of how our kids fought, especially coming off of the disappointment of Army and how we played in the Army game. I thought the team really battled and showed some real resiliency in the game against San Diego State. New week, new challenge. We got UNLV coming to town. I think they're a little bit like us. They've played a really tough schedule. They've had some injuries that have really impacted their process, but I know Coach Sanchez and that staff, good coaches, good people. They've got really good players that are putting it together, and so it'll be an exciting game for us. We get to come home, which is awesome. Get to play in front of our family and friends and our fans here in CEFCU Stadium, and so we had a good day of work yesterday, and the team's off today, but we're hard at work putting together a game plan for UNLV. Attacking me.
Coach, the Spartans got off to a good start thanks to Bryce Crawford. The Spartans, however, lost a close game in the end. How disappointing was it for the players and coaches on Saturday night?
I think everybody was devastated. To go in there and kind of go toe-to-toe with, their great defense and just what they do as an offense running the football. The success that they've had over the years and the respect we have for the program, to go in there and play as well as we did and not finish it and not come out with the win was really disappointing. I think the challenge for us now is, how quickly can we get rid of that game and move on to getting ready for our next one. So, to me, this is the most important game of the year.
Coach, it really seems like your guys' best games are against the best teams you play. Aside from the Washington State game, the top three teams you've faced have been the closest games, basically. I'm wondering why you think you guys play the best teams so tough.
I think the kids just, at least in this last one, really accepted the challenge, and we had a great week of practice. I think that's really one of the biggest things. I know I say that a lot, here or to donors or whatever, but I think, even though we're frustrated with the results, as long as we'll keep putting in the work and keep practicing. We practiced really hard last week. If we'll keep doing that, we'll keep taking steps in the direction we want to go. And so I give a huge amount of credit to our players and to the assistant coaches, because they're doing a great job, and as a team, we're not letting where we're at beat us down, and we're finding ways to continue to put in good work in the practice environment, knowing that that's what's going to lead us to having a chance to win on Saturdays.
All right, so my question is, have you guys ever fought against Las Vegas, and what are you guys doing to prepare yourself against them? Like, what are they like as a team?
Okay, could you add, you kind of had a couple questions there, so give me the first one.
So the first one is, how are you guys preparing to face against Las Vegas?
Okay. So right now we're putting together a game plan. We started that yesterday. After we kind of put the tape from San Diego State to rest, the staff, everyone's meeting right now, watching film. That's where they're all at. That's what I've been doing all morning. Tomorrow the players come back in and we'll start to put in that game plan. But I think as a team, they look like they've done a nice job offensively. They're heavy RPO. Quarterback's a really good player. I remember Max when he was coming out of high school when I was at Oregon State, and he went to Cal and then ended up transferring to UNLV, and he's doing a really nice job throwing the ball around, RPO game. They've got a bunch of good players there that are making plays. Their running back is fantastic. This is a team we played a year ago and on the road, and they really got after us. We did some stuff in that game to self-destruct, so we know it's a really, really big challenge for us. Every week is a challenge for us with where we're at, and so we got to put in the work tomorrow in the practice environment and take the first step towards getting a chance to play well on Saturday.
Coach, with Josh Love being back, as of right now, do you see him starting the rest of the season?
As of right now, yes, I do.
Coach, we're going to go to the phone now, and we have Mark Anderson on the line from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mark, one question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, just wondering about Josh Love. What have you seen his development, and what do you see as sort of, I guess, his potential?
Well, I think, we so far this season we've played our best football with Josh in the game. He's a young man that is, really, it's really awesome to see what he's come through in terms of his struggle on the field and just his development. And, that quarterback position is such a hard position to play. And I think what you see from him is that he's putting a very, a large amount of work into his preparation week in and week out. And because of that, the game's starting to slow down for him, and he's starting to see it a little more clearly. And he's been accurate throwing the football, and he's done a nice job operating our offense. I think Coach Gunderson and Coach McGiven have done a good job preparing him and getting him ready to go. So I'm really excited about Josh. I'm really excited about the path that he's on, and I think he can be a really, really good player for us here. I'm really fired up about it. It's kind of funny talking into the speaker here.
Coach, the Spartans' run game was clearly broken. What changes can be made to make sure the Spartans capitalize on their opportunities and gain yards?
I think it was broken, but I think it made a big step last week against San Diego State. Even though the numbers weren't big, I think we ran for more yards than maybe everyone they played so far, maybe outside of Stanford. So I think that's something we can feel really good about. We were playing against the 12th ranked defense in the country last week, and I thought our offensive line and Coach Bernardi did a good job with the game plan there. I thought Tyler Nevins and Malik Roberson did a nice job running the ball, and I felt like that run game is one of the things that kind of helped us sustain drives and change that game a little bit in the second half. So obviously we're going to put a lot of work into it, and hopefully we get an even better performance this weekend.
Obviously, your defense has had some dominant performances like last week and against Oregon. I'm wondering how you think you guys could just put together the consistency, because you'll have a game like the San Diego State game and then the Army game. I'm wondering how you think you can put together.
Well, I think the thing that's, Army is a tough comparison because what they do is so different. And then on top of that, if you consider in the Army game the 4 consecutive turnovers, 3 of them in plus territory for Army, right? So we gave them the ball inside the 25 twice on back-to-back possessions. So asking your defense to stop the triple option, don't get me wrong, they still want to stop it, and I still want them to also, but that's a big challenge. So I think, I thought the physicality we played with against San Diego State was outstanding. That's the best defense I've seen us play, and I think Coach Odom is doing a great job. I think the players are in the scheme for one more year, so they're a little more comfortable in it. But again, we'll see this weekend because we got a great challenge with, UNLV and what they do offensively and their RPO game and their quarterback and the running back. They have good players, so we're busy putting that plan together now. But I'm excited to see how it looks this weekend.
Coach, still on San Diego State, if you guys would have won that game, hypothetically, I think it's safe to say you guys would have won because of the defense. In fact, even just your last win as a head coach here over Wyoming last season, it was because of defense. But the team is inside CEFCU Stadium again this week, and you guys put up over 36 points a game at CEFCU Stadium this season. UNLV gives up about that much every week. In the program's last 7 wins over UNLV, San Jose State scored at least 30 points. Would you agree that in order to win versus UNLV, you guys need to, hit that 30-point margin, or you still think you're still comfortable with the defense? Like, do you think the offense needs to put up more?
You just hit me with like 15 stats.
Yeah.
And then you combine it with a few hypotheticals.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this. We need to score points to beat anybody. And the truth of the matter is we need to score more than 13 against San Diego State to beat them. And so, I think we're getting better as an offense. We still have a ways to go. And I think that's obvious. To me, it still comes down to us winning the turnover battle, which last week it was 1-1, so we didn't win it. And then the other thing is that we got to find a way to run the football. But scoring points is always at a premium for us. And if we can get our defense to keep playing great defense, then we just got to score one more than the other team.
What can the Spartans take away from matches like against UC Davis, against Hawaii, against San Diego, where you guys were so close to getting that first W?
Well, I think, being close is, I think we can talk about that we're improving and that we're getting better and that we need to find a way to kick the door down and finish one of those games. And that's the hardest part, and that's the battle that we're going through right now with our team is okay, we get to this point, and then what are the things that hurt us, in a drive or in a situation that hurt our chances of winning. And so that's what we're doing is we evaluate the game tape and process all of it. But, I think this team is working hard, and as long as we'll be diligent with our process and continue to, work really hard in practice and focus on the details, like we're going to have that breakthrough game. We're going to have that moment where we find a way to win one.
Coach, we're heading back to the phones again. Mark, another question for Coach?
Yeah, in fact, jumping right off that, how much of this is, I guess, the mental part of knowing how to win, and once you can start maybe breaking through and winning a game or two, maybe even this weekend, how big would that be as far as getting that confidence going?
Well, I think, that would be huge for us. I mean, obviously to win a game would, everything feels better when you win. And so we, with our team and, to their credit, they keep coming back to work every week. And they keep taking this part serious, and they understand how important it is to do the work to have a chance to win. And I think they feel like we're getting better. And so, obviously finding a way to win a game will do, wonders for how we feel about our process and how we feel about the work we're putting in.
Coach, it was unfortunate that the Spartans committed costly penalties at the worst times. What are your thoughts on the horse color flag and roughing the passer call that allowed San Diego State to get ahead and avoid a huge upset?
The roughing the passer call, I thought that was a tough one. We've got a freshman in there. It's his first college football game. He hasn't played yet at all. And I'm so proud of Junior Fehoko. He went in there and played his tail off. He did a lot of good stuff in that game. It's his first college game against an outfit like that. That is big time. And so, he's not trying to rough the passer. He's trying to, play as hard as he possibly can. So that's a real teachable moment, real learning moment for him. And then I think the frustrating things are penalties that either stop a drive or on offense or extend a drive on defense. And those are the things that we need to eliminate. But in terms of the penalties overall in that game, they're very low.
His run game has basically been non-existent all season. UNLV allows 221 yards per game on the ground, and Tyler Nevins is averaging almost 4 yards a carry. Do you think are you guys going to use this week to try to get your run game going for the first time all season?
I think we trying every week to get the run game going. You know, that was kind of what we talked about earlier with San Diego State. You know, I felt like we made some really good strides in terms of getting that off the ground. Everything that, you know, in football is, you know, you get into a game and you have a game plan, but then you end up taking what's there and you end up adjusting and making adjustments in game that you think give you a chance to win or to move the football. Like, you know, last week in the San Diego State game, that second half, right, we felt like we could run the football, and so then you saw the majority of our yards gained on the ground be in the second half. So it just depends on how the game goes. But, you know, every game presents a new challenge, and every scheme, you know, combined with the players that you're playing against present a new challenge. So we want to get the run game at a better place, and I think, you know, Tyler, you know, getting his legs underneath him a little bit more, I thought that showed up last week. And so, you know, hopefully he'll be ready to go, and we'll put together a good plan that gives us a chance to do that.
It's about the passing game. Obviously, the injury to Bailey Gaithers kind of set you guys, kind of proposed a different plan, I guess you would say, compared to the start of the season. But Justin Holmes, only 4 catches, 32 yards in 5 games played this season. Just wondering why he's had the impact, I guess less of an impact on the passing game, given the experience that he has. Is it just play style? Does he have an injury? Is it
no
McGiven?
He has no injuries. I think you know, you've seen probably a little more 12 personnel from us. You know, 2 tight ends, and so that changes the number of receivers on the field. And then on top of that, there's been you know, that room. There's been lots of guys that have played at receiver. You know, Bailey, Ty, Trey Hartley, Trey Walker, Justin Holmes, Jaquan Blackwell, Lecky Nunn. You know, so it's really just that position is always in flux, and it really comes down to who's performing the best at the moment, or who's performing the best week in and week out in practice. Justin started last week. He made some nice catches early in the game. So, you know, that just, it kind of ends up, again, what the defense gives you is in terms of where the ball goes.
Is there any thing changed during your guys' practice session after losing all of these matches?
Losing these matches?
Yeah, like basically, did you guys change anything new for your practice sessions? Like maybe spending more time practicing, or maybe trying to do more exercises?
Week to week, practice to practice, it adjusts. It adjusts on what we think we need more of an emphasis on. If we're playing a team against, like Army, there might be more time spent on the scout team because their scheme is so different. If we're playing a team that's more like us, offensively or defensively, there might be more interaction, you know, where you have the 1s and 2s going against each other because you want the speed and you want the tempo of it. So it varies week to week, or even day to day. You know, in a couple hours here, we'll get together and we'll start to talk about what practice is going to look like tomorrow based on what we think the game plan is dictating. So it changes every day, to be honest with you.
Coach, heading back to the phones again. Mark, one more question for Coach?
No, I think I'm good to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. All right. Have a good week.
All right, that does it for this week's press conference. Once again, San Jose State at home this Saturday to take on UNLV. 3:30, the kickoff from CEFCU Stadium. Our coverage on 1590 AM KLIV and the Spartan Radio Network begins at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Tickets are available at sjsuspartans.com or over the phone, 408-924-7589. Thanks for watching this week, and we'll catch you next time.